here today. Spawning in the top right position as the blue Terran player, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series for the round of 16, the IEM Shanghai 2013 qualifier. It is STX Soul's INnoVation. Of course, the WCS Season 1 champion, winning those big world finals, and he's quite a monster. INnoVation is, you could almost say he's known for his Terran versus Zerg. He just crushes Zergs left and right. He crushes Protoss players. His Terran versus Terran, I guess, is kind of seen as one of his weaker points, but it's like, you know, it's kind of like saying a brick wall has a very small crack in it. It doesn't mean you can just break it with your fists. INnoVation's still quite a strong player. And this map, it kind of started out as actually being a map that favored Zerg players because it was so big. But now that we've got a lot of faster units in the game, now that we have the speed boosters on the Medivacs, and just a more viable mass bio play, especially with the Widow Mines and the early Hellbats, Whirlwind's kind of become more of an even map. A lot more players that are Protoss and Terran do like it now than they did, or at least do not like it more than they did in Wings of Liberty versus Zerg. Of course, Zerg players, if you spread your creep well, you've got fast movement speed, so they do like the big maps. It keeps them safe from fast attacks. Hatchery first for Solar. INnoVation is going to go for the command center first once again on the high ground. He doesn't want to take any risks, and I like this. The last thing that he wants is some kind of metagame fast spawning pool attack going, trying to shut down the expansion of INnoVation, and now the barracks is going to come up. So I think we're going to see the same setup out of INnoVation. He's just that good. He doesn't need to change his build to win this game. He doesn't need to change his build to win this series. But Solar is going to try to change things up to give himself an edge, going for the double hatchery before spawning pool. We could even see him take an early extractor. There's quite a few options. He's pretty much 100% assuming that INnoVation will go with the CC first, and he is correct. There's the spawning pool. So INnoVation now is going to send out an SCV scout. I'm a little bit curious as to where it's going first, whether it will be the natural of his opponent or towards one of the other bases. And Solar, natural hatchery is about to finish up. The third base is about halfway done. And INnoVation will be scouting out towards the bottom left base first. So he'll find Solar after he misses the first base. There is the refinery. Just getting this up. And INnoVation, we could see him get that bunker at the same timing that he did before. I wonder if he'll get the factory first this time around. It delays the factory by maybe 4 or 5 seconds. It's not a huge deal, but it's just enough mining cycles to pretty much just pay the 100 minerals for that bunker. And INnoVation, he did see nothing here, so he will go over and scout this natural out. Now, of course, since the spawning pool was quite late, there won't be queens here to actually kill this SCV. INnoVation should be able to get a full scout off. And you should see there's actually still no gas for Solar. Solar's not going to go for any kind of fast speedling play like we saw in the last game, even defensively. So INnoVation now perfectly aware of everything that Solar is up to. You could kind of guess based on the lack of queens that there is a third hatchery. We could see the SCV go straight up to check that third base location, but at this point, it's a safe assumption for him. We do have that bunker being built once again at the front. The 2 Marines for INnoVation in position. And Solar is about to scout out INnoVation's base. He's going to say, okay, well, there's the command center. I see the supply depot going up and this bunker. This is what I expected. The command center first built from INnoVation. And he's actually doing the exact same thing as the last game so far. Getting this third command center. The factory is done. We're going to see the Hellion production begin again to try to get map control. These 2 Marines actually come and shove these Zerglings away from this SCV. It only had 5 hit points, so pretty much just hero Marines now, rescuing that poor worker. Hellion production has started for STX Soul Terran player. Tech lab on the barracks as well. I think after we see Stim start, we'll get the second gas. And, you know, the thing is, INnoVation, if you've seen any of his interviews, he really doesn't mix it up. He doesn't do anything weird. I don't think I've ever seen an original build come out of him. He just macros like a monster. The last game we had Marines. You know, like I said, my camera, I pretty much only was looking at the Zerg base because he was just there the whole damn game, constantly streaming Marines across, constantly bringing the pressure either with the drops, either with the Widow Mine run-bys, either with the, I don't even know, just the frontal assaults. He really never stopped pressing the creep. And also keep in mind, Solar never even got the creep halfway across the map. So INnoVation is going to be looking to just do that same super strong macro style once again, as probably the best Terran player alive right now. And Solar's not doing anything too different as far as the overall strategy goes. He's just trying to get an advantage from the fast third hatchery, having the 3 saturated bases so quickly, now moving into the double evolution chamber. He's going to get his 1-1. The lair will be slightly later than in the last game, but it's not really a big deal. He has the Zergling speed coming in, but these Hellions for INnoVation might dive in. It looks like he wants to try to either grab some scouting information or kill some drones. He sees no lair here. He knows there's no lair at the third, and now he sees no lair in the main base, so he knows Solar's not doing anything crazy. 1 drone dies. INnoVation will get caught here actually by these Lings. Oh, actually manages to dodge them nicely since the speed is not complete for the Zerglings just yet, and he's going to pick off the majority of these Lings. Not really getting any drone kills, unfortunately, for INnoVation. So, as far as the damage that's been done here, he's got 8 total. It's actually really nice. I didn't actually see just how much some of these drones stacked up. So INnoVation actually doing quite a bit of damage so far this game with these Hellions. It's not a crazy amount since the third hatchery before spawning pool build went unpunished. But the late Zergling speed did hurt him in terms of catching those Hellions when he got the surround on the hatchery. So INnoVation still, you know, down 44 to 67 drones, but with the 3 mules, that's about 3 times 4. He's got about 12 or so additional SCVs worth of mining from the orbital commands, dropping those mules. A macro hatchery is on the way for Solar. Now we see the lair, the 1-1's coming in. This is the same setup as the last game. INnoVation's not doing anything different. The Widowmine production is going through. The stim pack upgrade is about to complete. The starport is landed on the reactor. And now that INnoVation's landed this third base, as we see this start to get saturated, that's when INnoVation is going to enter monster macro mode that we saw in the last game. I'm almost a little bit more frightened to see what happens if he doesn't delay his armory this time around. Yeah, he's going to get that armory nice and early. It will complete almost perfectly in sync with the completion of the 1-1. And that's going to allow him to just not fall behind in upgrades, I guess this game is the important way to put it, because right now these guys are pretty much dead even, only about a 10 or 20 second difference in the upgrades. The Spire has started. We have the Pneumaticized Carapace, Baneling, Speed, every upgrade just kind of going in. These players are preparing for another action-packed mid-game. A 4th hatchery is starting up for Solar. Getting this 4th base a little bit sooner, I think, is going to be really big for him. In INnoVation's, what he's doing with these Hellions, he's just kind of perusing the map. He's trying to make sure that if there's any Zerglings hidden or waiting to scout out a base, such as this one, that he'll be able to pick it off. And now we actually have Medivacs going out here, so INnoVation could try to go for some kind of drop. The Hellion should spot this Zergling. He will pick that off. And it's, you know, the game's kind of somewhat of a slower mode right now, but as we see INnoVation's reactors completing, as we see this marine production really start to kick in and the 2-2 upgrades begin, that's when INnoVation is going to try to do the most amount of damage. We see the bio now moving towards the center of the field. This is where Solar, well, he's got actually has some of these Zerglings, but Baneling speed's not done just yet. He really doesn't want to fight off of creep. It'll be so easy for INnoVation to avoid those slow Banelings. So now we see more Banelings being morphed in, and INnoVation wants to put the pressure on now. The Widowmine burrowing. We should see a scan for him to kill all of these fresh creep tumors, but I guess he doesn't have any scans available. He's deciding to back off for now. Will not completely commit to this. A Viking's being sent to look for Overlords. There's really not too many on INnoVation's side of the field, but the Marines are here. Grab 1 queen, grab a 2nd queen. The Zerglings, he's really cautious about stepping forward here because those Widowmines are such a threat, and all of these active creep tumors will be killed. INnoVation wants to get the last 2 active ones on the left side, but he will not be able to. The Zerglings here on top, loads everything up. The Widowmine doesn't really get any damage done. 2 Zerglings are all that are killed by these mines. And Solar, I gotta give him credit. You know, he did lose a good number of creep tumors there, but he has not really been losing anything to these Widow Mines throughout the entire series. It's just he's just been losing to the great macro of INnoVation. So we have been seeing great control displayed by the Zerg player. He's moving into his own 2-2. He's behind me like 10 seconds. Doesn't really matter. But INnoVation has another push ready, and this is kind of how he plays. Just macros hard. Says yes, you expect Marine, Mine, Medevac. That's all I'm going to give to you. Let's see if you can play better than me. And these 2 Zerglings are going to go check. He wants to make sure he prevents a 4th base from going up. He knows of the 3rd. A couple Banelings are going to get caught here off of creep. Not going to do too much damage to INnoVation. He still has a lot of Marines, a lot of mines, and here we go. He's pressing in now towards his 4th base. Some of the mines are going to begin to burrow for the Terran player. Still not getting any big Widowmine shots off yet. The Reinforced and Medevac's caught off by the guard by the Mutalisks. The healing pot for INnoVation is not going to be there anymore. And there's actually not enough Marines, I think, to actually kill all these Mutalisks off. He's going to go for them. Killing off maybe 1 Mutalisk, not really much more. And Solar, a great defense of that attack by our STX Solterran. But look at this. Another push is already coming out for INnoVation. This guy doesn't stop. He He just doesn't stop. He's like, okay, well, you killed that push. Okay, well, here comes the next one. Here comes the next one. He's almost like an assembly line, just running these units across the field endlessly. And, you know, 22 banelings on the way, 42 speedlings. Solar's getting us Hive much earlier this game, and I think this is probably what he needs to be able to get an edge here, because we did see those Ultralisks come out so late, and INnoVation was able to get his 3-3 much earlier than Solar. In fact, INnoVation starting his 3-3. The Zerglings and Banelings are going to try to come in here and get on top of this force. Still no great Widowmine shots, and Solar will be able to push INnoVation back once again. We've been seeing this fantastic control during the fights from our Samsung Khan Zerg player every single one of these fights. Those Widowmines, it's almost like INnoVation doesn't even have Widowmines. He's just playing with Marines. And at that point, the heavy Baneling style of Solar just becomes so effective. INnoVation, though, finishing up a couple of additional barracks, going to add on a reactor, 2 tech labs, getting another factory, 4th command center. He's just going through a checklist of what he wants to have in this game. And this is actually the exact same addition of infrastructure that we saw in the first game. So INnoVation already has everything planned out. He already knows everything that's going to happen in this game. The question is, can he make what needs to happen with the units happen? Mutalisks come in. We'll pick off 1 SCV, delaying that command center. A bit of a pain for our STX Terran, but we do have a drop moving over towards the left side of the map. We should be able to pick off this 5th base of Solar. We see all the Lings and Banelings streaming across, trying to defend this hatchery. Will they be able to? INnoVation stems. Tries to get up here. A couple of Marines are locked in the back. I don't think he'll be able to force a cancel. And Solar should protect this base. No problem, really. Might unload these Marines. These Mutalisks, can you be careful? There's not enough to actually kill that off. And here we go. Another big push from INnoVation. 3-3 halfway complete. 3-3 just starting for the Zerg player. I don't think we're going to see Broodlords again this game. Perhaps an earlier Ultralisk Cavern. But so much gas being constantly spent on Banelings is making it so hard for Solar to tech up. He's being forced to stick on Ling Baneling. And in a couple solid detonations, going to be able to, I think, hold INnoVation back for now. He's going to try to advance away from where the creep is. He's waiting for these reinforcing units, a couple more Widowmines, more Marines, more Marauders. And the medevac count is something that INnoVation's been doing a great job of keeping up high. But Solar's just had such great control in these fights, really. And now the Mutalisks might be getting set up for a surround here. INnoVation's pressing in towards the 3rd base. The Widowmines will burrow. But, well, are they going to get the hits that they need? Oh, there's actually a couple of decent shots. Now coming in here, this is INnoVation. This is the hits that he needed, but there's still not enough. Solar just maintaining himself, being so composed. Every time the Widowmines become an issue, Solar's right there. He doesn't even care. He's going to pick off these Marines. He might even get these medevacs. A huge score for the Zerg player. 1 Widowmine is kind of just chilling at this 5th base. INnoVation should be able to shut this down, and that's the thing. INnoVation's going to lose his army, but Solar can't counterattack because he needs to stop the pressure that's coming in. INnoVation just doesn't stop attacking, ever. And that hatchery will fall. The bio will die, of course, but this gives him time. He's going to set up more Widowmines. 13 Marines being produced at a time, 4 Widowmines, plus 2 vehicle plating is just finished up. And that's, of course, just going to allow INnoVation to keep the Widowmines alive longer, keep his medevacs alive longer. 25 Banelings on the way for Solar. Double drop headed over towards the main base of Solar. INnoVation still has a Widowmine at that reproducing 5th base. Could take out this drone. Sad way to die. And here we go. INnoVation's in the main. He's running in. These Widowmines need to burrow at the same time as a push coming in from the front. Widowmines actually get a couple, really good couple detonations against those Zerglings. And INnoVation's finally starting to clean up some of this creep. I think this is what he's been wanting to do for a while, is slow this advancing creeps right. He's pushed it back inside the half of the map of Solar. These bio are going to try to shut down this base at the same time. The Banelings coming in. Are they going to finally... Oh, some great detonations for INnoVation. That is what INnoVation needed. Won't be able to win the fight, but in the long term, taking out that many Banelings, he's really just been reducing the gas units. I mean, just look at what Solar has. Zerglings, Mutalisks, and Banelings. But once the 3-3 is done, and I mean by that I mean the 3-3 is done for INnoVation, and that means as these Widowmine counts start to get higher and higher, trading effectively versus them just becomes so much more difficult. We're seeing INnoVation finally get good hits against these Banelings. We're seeing INnoVation finally make this bio better and better, and securing all of this economy with these upgrades just makes this such a difficult game for Solar. This drop is going to get picked off, but INnoVation's pushing in towards the 3rd base. Once again, does Solar have enough? The Widowmine's trying to get some decent detonations off. Nothing crazy just yet. Both players still maxed out. The Lings and Banelings should be able to stop this force, though. INnoVation's counting on the Mines, which still not doing too much damage. There's still a lot of Banelings here. And Solar, once again, controls himself very well versus these this composition. But I do want to point out, still, we do not have Hive Tech. We do not have an Ultralisk Cavern or a Greater Spire. So Solar is just trying to win a straight up macro game who can make more units and get better engagements. And I have to say, Solar has been getting a lot of very good engagements, but INnoVation's macro side, it doesn't matter how poorly he trades, this guy's always even or ahead in supply. And now INnoVation's trying to move out and shut down this 5th base once again, as he is actually going to see high-sec auto-tracking, building armor. We might even see Neo Steel. A man can dream. But here we go. The Widow Mines are going to burrow. He's splitting the bio. He's trying to run the Marines behind the Marauders. Still no great hits with these Widow Mines just yet. And they're all on cooldown. So now the Mutalisk Baneling Force will be able to crash through the bio, trying to split as much as it can. Most of the Banelings are going to die, but the Mutalisk count is still intact. And what that means is that INnoVation's going to lose more and more medevacs. A couple mines are still here. He does have a command center landed, so INnoVation will have additional economy. And as long as this base gets up for Solar, he's going to be able to continue this this game in a pretty good position, to be honest. He's mined out of the main base, so he can transfer the drones over there. We've seen all of the upgrades get researched now for Solar. The only thing he has left may become more Mutalisk upgrades. He's getting the Carapace. But as building armor finishes up, that's actually helped those turrets out a lot for defending against the mutas. And this drop's going to get cleaned up. Kills off a Mutalisk here or two. And at this point, getting minerals is easier than getting gas. So, ooh, great Widow Mine detonation there for INnoVation, pressing into this 5th base. If INnoVation kills this 5th base, this is what he needs to be able to pull this game away from Solar. As long as these guys keep expanding pace on pace, it doesn't matter that they're on even bases, which normally a Terran player would love, but Solar has just been engaging so cost effectively versus those Widow Mines, it's not even funny. And here we have more Banelings ready, more Zerglings. I still find it interesting that INnoVation, that Solar doesn't want to go for anything like Ultralisks or even the Broodlords at this point, something. But the spawning pool is going to get sniped here, it seems. Transfuse is going down from these queens, trying to save it. If the Marauders get it, that's actually going to be massive. The Muta's coming in. Oh, the spawning pool has 130 health. And Solar is going to build another one. You know what? I wouldn't even cancel that. Despite the fact that he didn't lose his first spawning pool, he really shouldn't cancel that. That when you're playing off this much at this point with so much aggression. But now the 5th base is going to get sniped. The drones are trying to hide. There is no burrow. The Banelings come crashing through, trying to grab this force. Will he be able to clean up INnoVation's army? It does look like it, but now INnoVation finds himself with the economic edge. Now INnoVation has all of these mules. Look at this income tab, guys. 3,000 minerals a minute coming in for INnoVation. Only 1,200 for Solar, and even his right side base looks like it's going to be forced to get canceled here. These Widow Mines will burrow themselves, and Solar just getting knocked back and forth, left and right. The drop tries to hit the main base to grab the finish off that spawning pool, will not be able to do so, and Solar manages to keep that right side base alive. This is very important. I think if he lost that base, that might have been curtains for him, but he's still going to have a little bit of income now. Should still be able to recover somewhat, but he's behind in economy. He needs at least another mining base, I think, to even be able to try to compete with INnoVation at this point. But the Widow Mines are advancing. He's cleaning up this plague of creep tumors, and the Widow Mines are gone from the right side base. Solar will be able to mine that. He's got 40 drones lined up on this. He's doing everything he can to try to get this economy back. And the scans from INnoVation, of course, eating up scans that could be mules. But he's maxed out. INnoVation is starting to bank resources. He's getting his +3 ship plating. He's getting +2 ship weapons, which means we could see INnoVation eventually make something ridiculous, like a battle cruiser switch, could get Ravens out, or at least have the upgrades to fight against Broodlords if he needs to get Vikings. But here we go. INnoVation's pressing in once again. So many Widow Mines for the STX Terran player. They're going to die as soon as they try to burrow, though. Solar's still very even on supply. You know, he's still not losing much to these Widow Mines, and that is so important for Solar. He still has his Mutalisk count intact. He hasn't really lost big chunks of them throughout this entire game, and INnoVation is going to go on the retreat now. The Ling Muta part he can fight with this force. The Banelings are where things get a little bit tricky, but INnoVation just building more command centers. He's slowly just taking a base, eating all of the minerals up with mules, and then just taking another one. He's basically strip mining this map, and he's leaving a couple of changelings behind that aren't going to do anything. It does look like Solar's going to move some of these drones away. He'd rather long distance mine. Or actually, no, he has this base finishing up in the top right area. So the mutas are going to try to focus this down. The building armor helps the missile turrets out, but it won't help enough. And INnoVation going to lose a couple of SCVs. Still not a really big deal. INnoVation's killed 20 drones. He's only lost a single SCV, actually. So Solar really having a hard time putting on the pressure here from these attacks. And now we do have INnoVation going to try to drop towards that bottom area. This top right, somewhat ninja base, is really important for Solar. We see his income finally tilting over INnoVation's. And INnoVation continue to drop mules all he wants, but that, of course, will reduce the total amount of resources there. The spawning pool will finally die. And INnoVation, I mean, he might be cheering for himself, but there's already a backup. At this point, I would put a spawning pool at every base if I could afford it as Solar, but Command Center is going to land for INnoVation, and this is where, well, once again, we're going to see this Terran player This Marauder's actually still going ham inside the main base. But this is where we're going to see the Terran player just try to... Oh, his Widow Mine's getting picked off. But he's just going to continue to secure this economy. We have Neo Steel Frame being researched by INnoVation. He is getting my favorite upgrade in this game. His bunkers, his planetary fortresses will have additional capacity. And, well, these Widow Mines not doing too much to help just yet. And now, still not really doing too much. The Widow Mines, though, once you have enough of them, they can really turn the tide here. But Solar still controlling himself quite well versus the Mines. He's going to press in. This is him trying to swallow up this army in the center. Solar's taking a supply lead once again. This guy just doesn't die. And now that he's been able to secure so much additional economy, he's got 5,000 gas banks. He can make Banelings for decades and decades and decades. He's not worried about that. He will have to replace his Spire that he lost due to the Hero Marauder, but he still has a good number of Mutalisks already on the field. He's still got 13. It's not a bad number to have. He can still put on pressure. He can still eat up some Widow Mine shots since they do regenerate their health very fast, but INnoVation, he just doesn't stop building stuff. He's got so many units moving out, and now his cost-effective units. He's got 14 medevacs. That's so much healing power for the STX Terran, and now we see him dropping the Mule Hammer. He's making it rain as his income is going to spike up quite significantly. And these mules really just shoot that econ straight through the roof for the Terran player. Drop still running around, trying to just do as much harass as humanly possible. INnoVation's trying to secure another base. We might see every base on this map mined out. INnoVation is pressing forward once again. Will Solar be able to hold this force off? He's done well, really great so far, and he's going to get another surround of this army. The Banelings crashing through everything, and there should be enough Mutalisks, I think, to pick off the retreating medevacs. They've already used their Ignite Afterburners, which means the Mutas can chase them down for quite a while. Now these reinforcing Marines are being stimmed up to try to stop this. I think at some point Solar has to try to do economic damage, but versus a planetary fortress with +2 armor, that's tomfoolery. It's so hard to actually kill that. Actually, he has the high-sec auto-tracking as well, which means the planetary fortress has an additional 1 range, so running Zerglings around it isn't even an option at that point because it's super crazy splash damage, one-shots, clumps of them. And we're going to actually see, I think, perhaps every single base get taken or maybe even mined out at some point here on this game. I still feel INnoVation, by even being able to secure these bases, has a lead. But Solar, that top right base has been a godsend for him, being able to get those minerals out. And as long as he keeps trading versus the Widow Mines, all he's really doing is all he needs to do is get mineral income, because he's got this ridiculous gas bank, because he didn't go for any hive tech. He didn't go for anything like infestors. And at this point, I don't think infestors would really hurt Solar that much, but he's going to try to go in here, just continuing just micro pure Ling Bane. These Widow Mine shots, I don't even know if INnoVation should keep making them. Just switching to Mass Hellbat. Get something that will kill something for you. And he is going to take out this hatchery, going for a surround now with these broodlings onto the Marines, and Solar will clean this up. But now that a base has been destroyed for Solar, this is where INnoVation is going to start to tilt things, because he's got a planetary fortress on pretty much every base now that isn't taken. A bunch of Manor Mules were dropped for INnoVation. Actually blew up some of the Banelings, it looked like. But Solar, he's got another base ready on the right side. He will be able to just mine away at this. INnoVation, however, has another giant army ready to move out into the center of the field. He's trying to bait out the Widow Mine shots on his own army. Now he's going to move in with the rest of his units. There's still a lot of Banelings. There's still a lot of Mutalisks. Leaving the Marauders in front does allow the Mutas to get through those. And INnoVation's army is going to get cleaned up once again in the center of the map. This is maybe one of the most back and forth Zerg versus Terran games I've ever casted in my entire life. Absolutely crazy control from both these guys. Look at the APM right now. INnoVation averaging 291, Solar averaging 311 APM. These guys are flying on their keyboards right now. Absolutely ridiculous. Look at the units lost tab. Still very favorable for INnoVation, because the Widow Mines, despite not being, cost effective in the early stages, the more time goes by, the more they're cost effective. These medevacs, keeping them alive is so important. And he's just right now producing just pure Marine mine, and he's going to try to shut down this right side base. There's no Banelings this time around for Solar, which means I don't think he can actually take this fight. INnoVation's going to drop the mules. He says, I've got this game. You got nothing left. GG. And INnoVation will take a 2-0 victory here in this first best of 3 for the round of 16 at the IEM Shanghai qualifiers.